I'm doing it now. They come back, everybody come back in now.
Okay, everybody can come back in.
People to get in here need to know that they gotta click on a room. On some of the. Like my system, I had to actually click on I had a choice of several things. I had to click on room.
Okay. So I think we all have to get back on, make sure we have a quorum.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
letting everybody back in now. Instead of transferring the host back to me, he just hung up.
Oh, that's what but listen, I thought it was me. Barbara said she got kicked out. I hope she doesn't think it's because we're getting ready to do this motion. But anyway, hey, that was Wolf saying everybody wanted to be finished by 7. So that's what he did. He wanted to be finished by 7. So let's make sure we have all of our board members back in. I think people are beginning to come back.
Yeah, I'm letting them in as fast as I see them.
I see. Listen now, you know we appreciate you. Now listen, did y'all have the baby yet?
Yes, we did.
The
Girl,
boy,
girl, 6 pounds, 10 ounces.
All right. Congratulations. Baby's okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Please give the mother our best.
I will. I appreciate it.
To you and your family. You know, we appreciate you. And if there's anything we can do, besides keep you in our thoughts, let us
I was
know.
just getting ready to say, just pray.
Oh, we got you, Doc. We got you. Commissioner Ruby, you all smiles. Look at you. You just all smile. Just so proud. I know you're proud of them. Let us know when we can. Barbara, you're on mute.
Okay, I need to share the screen, but it won't let me.
Let's make sure we've got that quorum back.
I need permission of the host.
That would be the staff.
We have 5 right now, Chair.
I'm making you host. Just don't hang up on us.
No, that's right. Okay, so we have 5. So let's go ahead and we need someone to approve the motion to have a closed meeting pursuant to the section that I read previously for
Oh,
discussion.
we needed to do that in open and then we'll close. Is that what's
Right.
happening?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So do we need a roll call vote? Vice Chair Mensa?
Well, did anyone motion for it?
Oh, I'm sorry. We need a motion. My bad.
You know, I thought there was a motion, but then the meeting ended, so it was very some abrupt technical challenge happened,
No,
you know?
I think what I did, I read that we need a motion to close it. So I think that's what happened. I indicated that we need the motion. Then Wolf hung up. We got lost. And so we're going back to that. The chair will entertain a motion to close the meeting pursuant to 610.021 parenthesis 1 for discussion of privileged or confidential communication. Is there a motion?
I move to close the meeting pursuant to 610.021 subsection 1 for discussion of privileged or confidential communications.
Thank you, Vice Chair. And it was seconded by?
I'll second it.
Okay. It's been probably moved in second. Roll call vote. Vice Chair Mensa.
Yes.
All right. Secretary Pam Walker.
Yes.
Okay. Barbara Baker. Did Barbara get back on?
And we really do need the cameras on for the voting.
Boy, you got host, so if anybody comes into the room, you gotta let them in.
And Barbara said she cannot unmute. She just emailed us. She said she cannot unmute. James? Did we have James back?
No.
I think we still have people who are not back in yet. Who do we have? Tom's not back in. Hillary's not back in.
The two that are in and haven't voted yet are Barb Baker and Ornitha Lewis Walls.
Okay. Now, and I did ask that question. Arnitha is in, but she's not. Are you saying she is in,
Yes,
but she is not? Barbara? Barbara said she
Yes.
can. Barbara Baker?
I believe the host would need to manually take Barb Baker off mute since Barb said that she was unable to unmute herself.
I've tried, it just says ask to unmute. I'm not getting the ability to unmute.
And I
And I
just got,
also am not getting any requests for anyone to let me in. If you
The
want to
host-
switch it back and then switch it back to me
Yeah,
in a
let's do that.
second.
Back to switch it back, but the host can't unmute. The host can only ask you to unmute. But yeah, if you switch the host back to me.
okay.
Barb Baker, if you can hear me,
You
you
can
might
turn
wanna-
your,
it sounds like Barb Baker was going to say you could turn your video on and then use a thumbs up or thumbs down to vote.
yes.
You could also try reconnecting to see if the sound will work.
Yes, I'm good.
Okay, I can hear you. We need, can we see your thumbs up? You're in favor of the motion, Ms. Baker? Just wave at us. Where are you?
She's reconnecting.
Okay. And we lost James and Tom and Hillary.
Yeah, and I don't see anybody in the waiting room yet.
I can text them to rejoin with the link.
If you would do that, that would be appreciated. I just want to make sure, because I don't have a problem with voting if we need the 5 to, well, no, we just need a majority. So, but we still need Ms. Baker. There you go. So are you in favor of the motion to go into closed session, Ms. Baker? If you can unmute, just give us a thumbs up if you can hear me. I can see
You may be
her.
looking at Ornitha.
Arnitha, I'm sorry, Miss Arnitha. Miss Arnitha, are you in favor of the motion to go into closed session? If so, either come off mute and say yes, or there you go. I'm telling you, I love working with us. This board is great. 1, 2, 3, 4, and do we still need though?
You may vote as well.
I vote in favor, yes. So I think we're fine.
That is 5.
We have 5, motion carries. We are going to go into closed session. And for those public, please be patient with us. We shouldn't be long. We hope you'll go get a bite to eat and come back in a few minutes and we should return. So Barb, we're in your hands. Move us. What, we have to go into another room?
Typically that's what happens.
Yes. So staff, do we need you to take us in? Okay, Barbara, you're the host. So do you create the room?
I don't know. I've never done that. If anybody could share with me what to do with that.
All right, Ruby, can we ask the staff?
Yeah, send it back to me. I'll do it. No problem.
There you go.
Okay, what am I clicking by my name where it's,
I got it.
They have,
Okay.
he's got. All right. Barbara Baker says she's still in the waiting room, just so we know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There's Miss Baker. So
I'm sorry about that. Unmute or turn my said to me unmute.
that's
I'm sorry
perfectly all
about
right. As long as we know you're okay, that's all. That's
Okay.
all we.
All right.
So we're getting ready to go into the waiting room for the closed meeting.
Okay.
This. Janice never had this problem. I think it's a conspiracy. I don't know. I'm just saying. All right, let's go into the break room.
Ruby, you wanna go in there too? Huh?
Okay, we are now back in open session. Before the motion to adjourn, I'd like to ask our acting commissioner if she would reach out to that consultative team to see if we've moved far enough along so that we can discuss procedures. I mean, if we've gotten through the form, we're getting through the trainings. And as my grandmother used to say, sometimes you don't have the luxury of doing one thing at a time. And so whatever we can do to move the discussion to bring the procedures to the board for our review and approval, we need to do that more sooner than later. So if you would communicate that to the consultative powers that be. I'm gonna use that word consultation for a long time until it doesn't become a problem in my head. The other thing is, and I think we did put it out to the board members. We wanted to do the corrections orientation, and we wanted to get those 16 hours out of the way. And I was informed by Nicole that those 16 hours, that orientation time also counts towards the training. So whatever those 11 training modules are, this would count. The only way we're going to be able to do it is through a couple of Saturdays. I cringe at, asking volunteers to give up their Saturdays. For some, it's their Sabbath. But we're looking at Saturday the 19th and Saturday the 26th. So that we can, of August. We're trying to get this done because if the board of audit people, if they're coming back after this summer break, we want to get as much training as we can in so that when they come back and we begin this discussion, particularly as relates to amendments to the ordinance, we want to, once again, we may end up looking at 3 things we're doing. Hopefully by that time, complaints will be in. If there are any complaints, by that time, we're almost finished with our training. And by that time, we're looking at amendments to the ordinance. So we're looking at moving in different streams here. But we want to try to be as far enough along as we possibly can. And so I've asked Nicole to speak to the Commissioner of Corrections. She's agreeable to the 19th and the 26th. We are looking at a venue. I made recommendation that we do it in the Justice Center. Of course, you know where that went. But I'm going to ask again. But James, I asked that we do the training in the Justice Center in their training room. Because it is corrections orientation. So I'm going to ask again, just so you'll know, I asked the commissioner, now I'm going to ask the director of public safety, just so y'all know, I understand protocol and chain of command. If we don't have it there, there was a recommendation that they do have a training facility across the street at the old police academy. So that was the other option. So we'll get back in touch with everybody as far as the venue. I did also ask that, I requested that the public safety director, Office of Department of Public Safety, provide lunch that day, that they at least provide lunch. I'm not talking about a ham sandwich either. I'm talking about lunch, or a turkey sandwich, whatever you're into, a vegetarian sandwich. But those are the dates that we're looking at. We're really trying to get as much training in August as we can. And then so the 19th and the 26th, and that leads me to my last, if we're looking at procedure and or whatever other training, do we want to forego meeting on the third Monday. Just don't meet on the third Monday because of these 2 Saturdays that we're asking board members to do. If we're asking you to do 2 Saturdays, I want to hear from you. Do we tough it out and try to get all the training in, or do we say, listen, chairperson, you've lost your mind. We're going to just do the Saturdays, and then the first Monday in September, we'll come back with back on our training schedule. So what say ye, board members? Anybody have, James, you have any?
Saturdays are a problem as long as nobody, differences.
Okay. All right. Pam, any thoughts?
Well, I can't do the 19th, so I'm just wondering what happens if you can only do half the training. I assume you have to have the first day before you can do the second day. So that kind of messes up my corrections training, but that training's necessary to go into and tour the facility, and that's not something I need to do, at least not immediately.
I want us to make sure, and we're going to get some clarification. I'm glad you brought that up. If that corrections orientation is only used for access to the building, then I think you raise a good point. If that's the case, then if you have people who really going into the building is not what their desire, their greatest passion or desire, then that's one thing, because then we can just ask board members who want access in order to have access to do what we are called to do. Some of us have already been in the building, so we know what it looks like.
And can it be videotaped, and can we watch it, do it later?
I'll make Ruby, will you make a note of that, please? That question.
I also have a question.
Okay, and just the other thing before we go to that is, I don't want it to be punitive for board members if they don't go. What the question, if you don't attend that 16 hours, but you need 16 training modules, then if the orientation is not one of those trainings, then what would be the option? So if it's 11 training experiences that we have to have, what are those 11? And if the corrections orientation is not one of them, what is an option? Because I don't want any board member or the board collectively to be in jeopardy because somebody missed that orientation or couldn't make it or didn't feel that.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am, it's your turn.
If the 16-hour orientation is for us to be able to go into the jail, she's already put it out there that they wasn't gonna let me and Mike into the jail because of our work. So do we need to still take that training as well?
That's what I want. That's an excellent question. And I think that's what I want to find out. I want to make sure that that you're not penalized for not being able to take the training. And so let me ask that question to the Director of Public Safety. I think I want to answer that question.
Okay.
Because like I said, we need to figure out why that particular training is important, and who needs to go. And if they don't go, is the board as a whole penalized? Can we still operate as a board if all 9 people do? If only 8 people do the corrections orientation training, if only 8 do that training, how does that affect the board as a whole? Or does it just affect the person that doesn't take it, because then they won't get access? I want acting commissioner, we need clarification on that.
As well as the people that's been denied I-6, why would they need the training?
Okay, we will revisit that as well. Okay,
Okay,
Chair.
now, Reverend Gray, are you asking me to ask those questions, or did I hear you say you were gonna ask it of the Director of Public Safety? Now, where are you in your list of questions for the city councilor? Because it almost sounds to me like some of this should be on your list.
I'll tell you what, when you and I meet by the end of this week, let's
Okay.
figure out who should be talking to who and who should be asking questions to, because I think as a senior staff person, obviously there's some things that you ought to be doing that I need to leave alone. And then as the chair of the board, there's probably some things that I need to be doing. So let's
Okay, and
You're-
now I did have a question about any staffing needs the board might have on those Saturdays, because each of the investigators have had that 16-hour training.
Right.
Of course, that didn't get them access either, but they have had the 16-hour training.
I think we need to find out that training, Barbara, that training, does that training also constitute a meeting? Do we have to advertise that?
That's a good question. You mean because you'll have a quorum there to discuss
Right.
public business?
I mean, the only thing we'll be doing is the training, but that training is, you froze. I don't know
Yeah,
what
so you wanna, you might wanna, let me check with, Nicole. I might have a few questions about it before I can properly answer you.
Because I think, acting commissioner, if this is a duly constituted meeting or gathering for the purpose of training, and it is constituted as a meeting because we may have a quorum, then that might determine whether or not your staff, one or two, whatever, might be necessary for that training. So I think that Barbara's question will determine the answer. Barbara's questioning and whatever answer she gets will determine whatever answer we give you. If that does that make?
Yes, it does.
I'm actually see, I'm not, listen, we're getting ready to leave this call. So I think that's where we are. Do any of the board members need any clarity on those two things? We will not have a meeting on the third Monday. There will not be any meeting. And that Pam, what we may end up doing, if we can't do the 19th, we may end up using the 26th as that first day. So we'll have to get back on. We'll have to circle back around. But right now we got the 19th and the 26th. We've got some questions that we need answers to. So let's just keep the 19th and the 26th. Let's keep that for right now. And then by the end of the week, we should have some clarity on staffing and all these other great questions we have for the powers that be.
And I just want to clarify, I don't mean to imply that I'm disinterested. It's just, I don't think it's my role to go in the jail system as a board member. We've got investigators that are going to do that. They're going to go in and talk to the incarcerated people and the corrections officers. And I don't need to do that. That's not my role.
Understood. I guess, and I understand that completely. What we as a board need clarification on. If any board member elects not to do that orientation, and we are required to do 11 trainings, and they're going to use that orientation as a training, then what's going to be the option? So we just need to get clarification on that. So I think we're fine. If in fact the corrections orientation training fizzles out, then we'll circle back around to having our regularly scheduled meeting so that we can get the rest of the trainings that we're required to have. So by the end of the week, we'll know the answer to all of those questions.
Chair,
Yeah.
I probably was in the waiting room while you talked about the 19th and 26th, but I'm trying
Yes.
to block off time in my calendar. What are we looking at for those days?
I think we're looking at just 8 hours, 9 to 5.
Okay, gotcha.
With lunch in between. And I think Barbara Burkett indicated something about she was willing to pay for lunch or something. No, I'm just you can tell it's almost time to go, right? Yes.
My other question on that is if we decide not to do that, could we, while we're figuring all this stuff out, how can we still get information on when those trainings are offered? Because I thought that they were being offered regularly to new correction staff and things like that, just so that we could have the option if any of us ends up having a free day or two, we could, request to go to those.
I'll ask that question. That's an
Okay,
excellent.
great.
Thank you, Janice. That's an excellent question. And as we said, if people if they opt out of that, we just want to make sure we know what the alternative is going to be, so that each board member gets their required number of trainings. So, all right. Anything else? Seeing nothing, we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn.
All right, it's been properly moved. Is there a seconder? James seconded. All in favor say aye. Contrary minded, nay.
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you very much. Thank you for being so pleasant and nice to me on my first meeting. I know some of y'all were going to try to get me. I know you're going to try to get me, but thank you.
Thanks, Chair.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good evening, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night.